Okay, so here I've gotten most of my pieces together. Here's the front, you can see, and I just went ahead and serged off the top of the shoulders because we're going to put those together later. And then you can see this is the part that we turned, and this is the part that we turned. See, it's all together now, those pieces. Okay, and then on the inside you can see this is the side seam, so each of those was serged and then went ahead and put together. And then this is the front of the bust, so each of those is serged and then put together with a seam. And, oh, a note on understitching. You say, what do you do about understitching? I really find that the only place that it's critical to understitch at is the neckline, and that's just so that the front of your fashion fabric doesn't roll over while it's being worn. But because we're using a cotton lining too, it's not like if you didn't do it, it probably wouldn't really make a difference at all, because we don't want a stitch line on the front here because of because of the satin and the organza. So we don't want any more puckering than we have to absolutely have. Okay, so after you do this neckline, before you turn it, or actually turn it, and then go ahead and then just stitch the seam allowance to the lining. Okay, it's just stitched to the lining, not to the front. Okay, just your basic understitch, and I really only did it in the very front of the neckline, from there to there. Okay, so then the bottom, I'll just serge off. With these particular bodices, we leave them like that. They're so versatile. You could change out skirts, so like you serge the top of your skirt and you put it together kind of the same way that you did the inside right here. You can switch out skirts, you can put a full one on, you could put a straight one on, you can switch it out for something with a, you know, organza or a sheer overlay, different trims. I mean, it's really easy. You can even use these bodices and do an empire waistline. Go ahead and put your skirt on at an empire height instead of a waist height, and then just at the side seams open these up because they're not going to fray or anything because they're already serged off. So you could just open them up and tack them so that they'll fit over the hip nice and still have that empire waistline. So I mean, there's a lot of versatility in this type of a bodice, especially for theater. You can switch them around to a lot of different things. Okay, where's the back, you're asking, right? I won't actually put the back on till the very last. I'll go ahead and decide what kind of skirt I want and put the zipper in the back. And a lot of times I'll make these with a separating zipper so that the bodice can go on and the skirt goes on over with its own zipper or elastic waist, and the audience never knows that it's not a full dress. So I'll put that on last, and the shoulder seams will go in at that time too. And then as far as finishing goes, of course, with anything like this, try not to press, which is kind of opposite of what you hear a lot, but try not to press too much with these because any little puckering will show that you've tried to, you know, when you ease this front bust line in. So I try not to actually iron these. And then this little part right here, if you can see it, is where that seam is. See, it's longer on one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, see that seam's going to press in actually. Instead of out towards the bust, that seam will go in towards the middle. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll either hand tack that or I'll just run a little stitch on my sewing machine just to tack that down so it doesn't fold to where you can see it on the outside. Okay, no one will notice it from 5 feet away, so it's all good. Alright, so there's just a really simple bodice to put together. You get the nice line, but it's really easy to alter. Oh, one more tip, when you're trying it on an actress, put it on backwards so that the seams are out, and then that way it's a little bit easier if you need to do a drastic difference, you can see. And then turn it around and double check it because you know one side of the body is always a little bit different than the other, but usually you can get pretty close and not a lot of stress. So good luck with your show. Thanks a lot.